The causes of World War I. World War I was a complex and multifaceted conflict triggered by political, economic, military, and social factors. The interplay of these factors led to a chain of events that ultimately resulted in the outbreak of the war. Some of the primary causes of World War I include 1. Nationalism. Nationalistic fervor and pride in one's country contributed to tensions among European powers. Nationalism often led to competition and rivalry between nations, as each sought to assert its dominance and protect its interests. 2. Imperialism. The late 19th and early 20th centuries saw a scramble for colonies and global dominance among European powers. Competition for overseas territories, resources, and markets fueled rivalries and increased international tensions. 3. Militarism. The belief in building up strong armed forces and using military power as a means of diplomacy and national prestige was prevalent. An arms race and the constant buildup of armies and navies among the major powers contributed to an atmosphere of suspicion and hostility. 4. Alliance systems. Complex and entangling alliances had been formed among European powers. These alliances were intended to provide security, but also meant that a conflict between two smaller nations could quickly escalate into a larger war involving multiple major powers. 5. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. The immediate trigger for the war was the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary and his wife in Sarajevo on June 28, 1914, by a Serbian nationalist. This event set off a chain reaction of diplomatic and military actions. 6. Failure of diplomacy. Diplomatic efforts to resolve conflicts peacefully were often overshadowed by militarism and nationalist fervor. Diplomatic channels were not always effective in diffusing tensions or preventing the escalation of disputes. 7. System of alliances and entangling treaties. The alliance systems created a situation where a localized conflict could quickly involve multiple nations due to mutual defense obligations. This contributed to the rapid spread of the war once it began. 8. Rivalries and territorial disputes. Long-standing rivalries and unresolved territorial disputes, such as the tensions in the Balkans, added to the overall instability and the potential for conflict. 9. Economic factors. Economic competition, trade rivalries, and disputes over markets and resources also played a role in heightening tensions between nations. 10. Social and cultural factors. Growing nationalist sentiments and propaganda, coupled with a prevailing belief in the honor and duty of serving one's country, contributed to public support for war and the willingness of nations to engage in conflict. It's important to recognize that World War I resulted from a combination of these factors and their complex interactions. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand acted as the immediate trigger. Still, the underlying causes and the geopolitical landscape of the time set the stage for a conflict of such magnitude.